Live from Orlando, Florida, you're listening to the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, the voice of Magic fans. Join us every week for a unique fan perspective on all of the latest Magic news and updates. The show starts now.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network. We're your host, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is Wednesday, May 21st, and in today's episode, we're gonna play a little catch up, man. We've taken a nice little break since our last episode, catching up on some news that we haven't had a chance to touch on, in regards to some of the rumors that we've heard around the Orlando Magic rebrand. We're going to discuss some off-season focuses for the Magic, NBA draft, and some ways that the Magic may or may not look to improve this roster. And then kind of, go over what we'll be looking forward to in the off-season. Al, what's going on, man? Western Conference Finals started today. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. And the Eastern Conference Finals will be starting with the Knicks and the Pacers. Man, what are your thoughts so far in the playoffs? Are you surprised that these are the four teams that are going at it right now, man? We're going to have a new championship team entering the mix. So definitely exciting times in the NBA. And it kind of feels like things are a little wide open, right?
They are, man. I think that's the exciting part. As an NBA fan, I think it's the most competitive that I've seen the league in really a long, long time. It feels like you may have a great team like the Celtics did and the Caps did, but ultimately, man, the NBA nowadays, one injury and it's tough luck. All of a sudden, you're no longer a championship contender. You're now barely, surviving in the playoffs. So to answer your question, no, I think nobody expected, me personally, the Pacers to be back in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks to make it that far. I think we all kind of expected the Celtics and the Cavs to face each other here in the East. On the West, it was kind of more wide open, but you expected maybe a Denver. I think OKC, we all kind of expected. But to see the Timberwolves, at some point they looked like a playing team, to actually be here once again and repeat in the Western Conference Finals, it's impressive. But as an NBA fan, man, it's fun to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing one of these teams win a ring, whoever it is that gets it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the first time in a while for any of this team, or first time for some of them. So as a basketball fan, you got to enjoy this.
Yeah, and we know that things are going to keep changing. Obviously, the news from Jason Tatum, hearing that he tore his Achilles and may miss all of next season. Jaylen Brown also dealing with an injury. Boston Celtics, we know that they're a team that, they're expensive, man. Their payroll is pretty high, so they're going to need to make some really, really tough decisions. The rumor mill already starting with Giannis. He may request a trade out of Milwaukee. When you hear these different changes are happening across the Eastern Conference, me personally, man, when I think of the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, if I'm Paulo, if I'm Franz, man, I'm looking at these teams and kind of just thinking about this past season, how we've dealt with injuries, and if we had a healthy team, this season could have been really surprising for the rest of the NBA, right? Not saying that for sure we would have made it out of the first round, and I'm not ready to get there yet. The Magic definitely need to address certain elements, but it does feel like we're almost there, right? Cleveland Cavaliers, they came out and showed us that they're still the Cavaliers, and Indiana is a team that we've dominated against. New York, obviously a team that has a lot of firepower, but still they're also human and they're also inexperienced. So it definitely, there is a feeling of, if the Magic can play this thing right in the offseason, you can make noise. There's nobody really solidified in the East. There's still a lot of unanswered questions with certain teams. What can Miami do to kind of put themselves in a better position? Can they make a big splash and somehow make some crazy things happen and get a hold of Giannis or a player like Dame and change their whole situation there? Or the Detroit Pistons can I heard something crazy about, could they be in the mix for maybe a Kevin Durant? Could they elevate? Like, this to me is such an important offseason, because the Magic are now in a position where we've heard Jeff Weltman say it's time to get aggressive, man. It's time to hit the green light on winning now. And this is a season, this is the offseason where I believe a lot of teams in the East and in the West, they may look at it as, we can make moves now to put ourselves in a better position to start winning seriously now. And the Magic, I believe, are in that pillar, especially when I see a team like OKC, where I'm not going to sit here and say that we were at the same level at any point, because they obviously had a cornerstone of SGA for a long time, but for a while we were the OKC of the East, and to see that they are in a very good position to make it into the NBA Finals, man, it has to make us feel good knowing that we have elements of pieces that will make us successful as long as we're healthy. And again, this off season really has to hit. But how are you looking at the Eastern Conference landscape? And when it comes to the off season, what are you looking for? What do you want the Magic to do exactly?
I think, man, that Jason Tatum going down and being pretty much gone all of next season, if not the entire season, most of it. Um, the rumors with Giannis, I think that was what, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, when this whole thing went down, the injuries and everything with the Celtics. I think that just changed everything, man. All of a sudden, to your point, the Magic could have easily been here today had they been healthy all season, had they had Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner in the playoffs. But think about next year, man. Now you have the Celtics that may become a 8th seed, 10th seed in the East, maybe, if they make the playoffs. Milwaukee, if they trade Giannis, that's a top 4 seed now, no longer being there. So a lot can change this summer. And I like the fact that Jeff Woman said it. This is our summer to really go for it. It's no longer, the drafts. It's no longer the young guys, continuity and development. It's more like we got to elevate and start making some money and start winning some games. So how do we do that? How do we make that happen, man? I think offensively we need a ton of help, that we know, and they're going to address it this summer, according to what they're telling us. But the reality is, man, the front office has a big job ahead of them. They have to make some tough decisions. We've been talking about this for 2 years now. That consolidation is going to happen at some point. We'll see some very, very good players that we've fallen in love with in the city of Orlando, unfortunately, get traded and get moved. But you know what? This is the moment. This is what we've been waiting for. That opening where one team goes down, like the Celtics right now, we got to go in and take their spot in the East. Can we be the 2, 3, or 4 seed in the East next season? Can we make it to the second round instead of just the first round? Making the play-in or the playoffs next year cannot be the goal. And Paulo said it, Franz said it. It's going further into the playoffs now. So I think the fun part about this offseason is that we are now, 5 months away from the new season, but we're truly just a month away from seeing this whole roster get shaken up a little bit. And we've been dying for this for a while. So this is the beginning of a special run for the Magic. My only advice to the front office is truly go for it, man. We've had the foundation, we have Paulo, we have Franz. They've proven to you now they are the real deal. You're gonna make them, you're gonna pay them max money. You're paying Suggs a humongous amount of money as well. You gotta now make the big moves to get those guys some help. If they do, next year, man, the Magic could easily be still playing basketball in May 20th.
Yeah, the Magic got the hardest part already locked down, check mark. You got the guy, right? You got the alpha male. You got the number one option. That's check mark done, right? That's the hardest part for any team. Magic got it, and Magic got it from a player that is extremely young, versatile, and he wants to be that guy. He wants the spotlight. He wants the sunshine. He wants it all, right? Yeah, you got Batman. You got Robin, right? Now we need this offseason, before we even get into anything, we need this team to get back to being healthy, right?
Yep.
Us going through another round of oblique injuries can't happen. We got to figure that out. Like, I really hope that there was some level of investigation in asking ourselves, how the hell did this happen, and how do we prevent it from happening? because something went wrong. If both of your best players that are getting the most run on your team both get hit within you're either unlucky or something was occurring that kind of forced these players to be in the position where, that injury happened, right? Not a doctor. This is my own perspective. From there, Paulo's been asking for a table setter, and we were unsuccessful this year without a table setter.
Yep.
Without Jalen Suggs, obviously, they only were able to play a very small amount of games together, and we were really relying on Jalen Suggs to kind of hold that fort down for us. But towards the end of the season, we have our third string point guard playing our starting point guard. Can't happen, right? That needs to be addressed. There has to be, the Magic are going to have to find clever ways to upgrade without spending more money, because we know that Paolo contract is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the tough part, where it's where we're at, where we have to pay Paolo. We obviously paid Franz. We obviously paid Jalen Suggs. But it's gonna be a tall task. What does that look like? Who is it that we would pay for that, right? Is the way that the contracts work, it won't be through free agency. It would have to be through trade.
Yep.
But who are the Magic willing to give up? Obviously we heard feedback from Jeff Wellman this past year, where they were looking at options, but there were elements where the Magic weren't willing to pay at the rate that they were asking for what we were getting in return. But what we're hearing is that it's green light time, which is it's what you want to hear. I would love to see the Magic upgrade the center position. The highlight, what you loved of Wendell, was the fact that he was outplaying his contract, right? You're getting this performance from a contract that didn't weigh heavy on the Magic. Now, with the restructure of his contract and him getting that extension, the level of play isn't matching the contract anymore. And you start asking yourself, because we saw this season where a player like Goga would fit better with the team, and if we can find a player that can do that consistently, then this team is in a better shape. Hopefully somebody that can stretch the floor. Hopefully somebody that can rim protect. Hopefully someone that can grab rebounds. All the above. Who that player is, I really can't point one out, but we know the archetype that the Magic would need. And, could that be a big name player? We don't know. Could it be a player that is just minor upgrades? Is it an Anthony Simons? Is it a Kobe White? Is it a CJ McCollum? Like, the Magic can go in so many different ways. But the Magic need to find a way to upgrade now. Who is it that you have on your list? Who do you want? Do you want the Magic to go big? Do you want the Magic to make small tweaks? What is it that's on your mind exactly as we start going into the offseason? We know that we're going to have to make decisions with the NBA draft, adding 2 to 3 rookie players to this already young team when you're still developing Tristan Da Silva. You're still trying to develop Jet Howard. It would be almost impossible to add 3 more young players to this team. What do the Magic do there?
So starting with that, I definitely do not see the Magic using. So right now, just for those that are listening that may not be aware, the Magic have the 16th pick in the first round, the 25th, and then they also have 2 in the second round, the 46th and the 57th. So 4 draft picks. I'll tell you right now, I would be shocked if we use 2 of those. I fully expect the Magic to consolidate, and whether it's via trade talk, whether it's on draft day, they move up. Something's going to happen where they're not going to use those 4 picks. There's just no way. To your point, we have way too many young guys as it is that deserve playing time. As it is, we're not even seeing Jet Howard play. Is he going to be here next year? Who knows? I think AB needs more minutes next year if he's still in Orlando come next season. So to bring another rookie in, 2 I don't think so. I think one for sure. I think for the economics of it, I think the NBA want the Magic need to have a young guy that's on the contract on a cheap contract for 4 years under their control. They need that for salary cap purposes. But do they need two, three, or four? No. So with the draft, again, I'll be surprised if we use more than one pick. As to who like that dream target or what, I really hope the Magic do. I love Cole Anthony, man. I think we talked about him plenty this summer, this past season. We talked to him plenty about the struggles, the consistency not being there for him. I think it's time for the Magic to go get a true six man, whether that is a guy like Malik Monk, whether that is a guy like Anthony Simons. Those two guys are top of the list for me. Guys that can come into Orlando and be bucket getters. They come in, they check in for France, whoever it might be, and they're going to jack up 10, 15 shots each night off the bench. And guess what? They're going to score 15 to 20 points consistently for this team. That would be massive to come off the bench and give us a lift offensively. So a six man that can truly be a bucket getter. Think of Terrence Ross when he was in his prime with the Magic. That's kind of what we need in Orlando at this moment. We need a playmaker. Now the problem is, to your point, is Jalen Suggs who they're hoping is going to be that guy? Has he shown them enough? Hey, he's going to be the guy. He was just not healthy. He's fine. I'm perfectly fine running the show again with Suggs at the point guard position and see what that looks like with him being healthy. Because don't forget, when he was around and Paolo and Franz, the Magic are solid, man. They're a good team. The problem is, can he stay healthy? Second, is he now better at playmaking, which is what we're struggling with when he was on the court, whether that is turning it over, whether that is not getting the guys the ball in the right spots. Has he improved there? If he has, I'm okay running it back with him at the one. If they determine no, that's when you have to figure out, then what do you do? Do you then trade KCP after 1 year and admit, hey, that wasn't the best move? And now you go after a shooting guard upgrade, a point guard upgrade. So you slide, then Suggs to the two once again and run the show that way. So to me, the biggest thing is a six man, and they need to figure out the whole point guard situation this summer. Lastly, I wouldn't mind a Wendell Carter upgrade. I think Wendell played better in the playoffs. I think he did a decent job rebounding. He kind of picked up the intensity a little bit late in the season. But just like Cole Anthony, man, he shows up every 3 games. And unfortunately, if you're trying to be a serious team that's going to compete in the East, that can't happen. So if we can upgrade the big position and get a 7-footer, a legit 7-footer that can catch alley-oops, protect the rim, and rebound the ball, I'm all for that as well. So to me, 2 guys that I wouldn't mind upgrading is Cole Anthony at this moment. It's Wendell Carter. And then figuring out the point guard situation. That to me is key for the Magic this offseason. What about for you? What are things that you think the Magic need to do this offseason in order to really take that next step in the East?
Yeah, it's and we've mentioned it already. Consolidate. This is the off season of consolidation. And the great thing is that, one, the Magic are they're going to need to make decisions on some of their team options, right? You got Corey Joseph that, for the most part, one can argue that he overperformed his expectation, right? Gary Harris, what do the Magic decide to do there? Caleb Houston, obviously a second round pick that has showed, moments of being able to shoot. Till this day, I'll sit here and tell you he has the prettiest shot on the team. Had a better shooting performance the second half of the season, but still not somebody that we can really rely on a consistent basis. And then the Magic also have a team option on Mo Wagner. So, Mo Wagner is somebody that I would love to see continue with the Magic. He's definitely somebody that we sorely miss. And I think that even though there's always been those moments where you're like, oh no, don't shoot. And then he ends up making it, right? Mo Wagner he brought a level of a layer of toughness that the Magic desperately needed, off the bench scoring that the Magic definitely needed. And he was really missed, man. And I think that, if there's ever a moment where he's ever felt like unappreciated or we saw little clips of his documentary where he wasn't sure if he wanted to come back to the Magic. Man, to me, in my opinion, he brings a level of toughness that no other player on the team brings. That is very X Factor-esque. That I'm looking forward to bringing him back and seeing that go through. So, yeah, man, Magic. The elephant in the room is shooting, man. The Magic need to find a way to improve on the shooting end. Sacrificing defense for offense. We've heard these words come specifically out of Jeff Weltman. So now you said it verbally. Now it's time to back that up and actually do it. And it doesn't matter what it is that we discuss on this podcast or what anyone else is saying in, in Magic circles. Jeff Weltman's going to end up doing something that nobody's ever talked about, didn't even see coming. It's just ways that he's operated. And as long as it's pushing this team forward, I'm good, man. I still trust and believe in Jeff Weltman. And I think that, he'll find a way to put this team in position to take the next step. And I think that all eyes are on him. Like, we really haven't seen him put finger on the trigger since we traded away Nikola Vucevic and Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier. And, we could argue some aspects of specific trades. We really didn't get much back for Evan Fournier, but we did for Vooch. And we're going to fulfill that Aaron Gordon trade to the Nuggets this offseason with that trade. That package will fully be completed. There are benefits to keeping at least one of those draft picks, right? You're looking at being able to add a player that will be inexpensive for the Magic. Could the Magic look at, trying to go after maybe a more seasoned player like a Walter Clay, and somebody that you've mentioned that you've really, really liked as well? Could that be the route to go? But again, what makes it tough is that you're still trying to figure out, still trying to develop, a player like Tristan da Silva. So Magic can go so many different ways, man. So many different ways to improve this team. And the first element of it is going to be the draft. So what to look forward into the offseason? So we know that at some point before the NBA draft, the Magic will be going through some level of rebrand. We've heard elements of blending old with the new. All right. So before anything happens, rebranding is on the horizon. Mid-June, teams can begin negotiating with their own free agents. June 25th, you will have the NBA draft. June 30th, teams can begin negotiating with free agents. Early July, we'll start Summer League. And then August 25, 26 season schedule release. And then late September, training camp starts. So right now, we're going through the Western Eastern Conference Finals. You got the finals, and then the offseason will really start rolling. So real quick, man, when it comes to the Magic rebrand, how excited are you? How much pressure is it from the Magic to hit on this rebrand? We've been asking, the fan base has been asking for a rebrand for a really long time, and we're finally getting one. Do you feel nervous about it?
100%, man. Just because, to your point, we've been asking for this for 15 years now, since Dwight left, right? We've had the same uniforms, same font, same courts. That's a long, long time, man. Some kids that grew up in Orlando haven't seen anything besides what we currently have for jerseys and logos. So a lot of pressure on the Magic to really nail this one. According to sources online that we've seen, what they're talking about is a jersey that's going to pay tribute to the 89 to 98 look. So the classic jerseys that we all love, right? Pinstripes, traditional jersey trims, but now it's going to be modernized wordmark and number font. So whatever that means. So what we're hearing is it's going to be a tribute to the early days, which we all love those jerseys. So don't reinvent the wheel, man. Don't go too crazy. I do like the fact that they're going to modernize it a little bit and make it more, 2025, 26. Like it's a newer look. We'll see, man. We haven't heard much about it, but I think it's exciting. It goes in line with what's happening in Orlando, right? With the new era with Paulo and Franz here in town. We have the new construction going on across the Kia Center. That should be done sometime in 26, 27. So a year and a half, 2 years away from that. So Orlando, man, a lot of hype around the team right now, right? They're playing better. They're building something special here with the roster, but also the rebrand going on, the new stuff around the arena coming soon. Exciting times ahead. But rebrand, 100% focus on that. They have to nail it, man. So the rumor is we'll see some sort of news about it before the draft. We don't know exactly when. I would expect maybe a logo reveal before the draft, but then maybe the jersey sometime in August, like they usually do. But I'm excited. What about you? What are you expecting? Number one and number two, are you afraid that they might mess this up?
Yeah, I'm super afraid. But we obviously know that the Magic have put in a lot of research, a lot of focus groups from what we read online. So the Magic, they have their ears on the ground, which I think is important, man. Everyone from the Magic fan base love the old school look, the old school feel. There's certain elements of where the Magic are at that I really don't want us to get rid of. Like I am a fan of our secondary logo, not the full logo. I don't think anyone's really ever liked the full primary logo, but the secondary
Mm-hmm.
logo has been something that just across the board people have liked and enjoyed. I hope that we don't tinker too much with that. I think from what we read and saw that will be coming back
Mm-hmm.
with just
It
some
is.
minor adjustments. So that's at the very least you can kind of rely that will stay the same. And I'm excited to see it, man. I think that if I'm a betting man, I would imagine that the Shaquille O'Neal retirement banner that went up, maybe that's an indicator. I know a lot of people are complaining about the font and it being old school pinstripe. So maybe that was more of a in advance teaser that we saw that maybe finally connecting the dots. We don't know, but it's exciting because this is a new era of Magic basketball that we've already have been in the process of,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you think of different uniforms at different times, they connect with specific players. And I think that it's time that Paolo and Franz and Jalen, they get a chance to associate themselves with a different era of Magic basketball with their own identity and own look and feel. And I think that this is the perfect way to be able to do that. So I'm excited for it. I'm sure I feel confident that the Magic will knock it out of the park. The Magic uniforms right now, they don't look bad, man. You can look at other uniforms in the NBA and kind of side eye it a little bit, but for the most part, man, I've liked what the Magic have done. Could be a lot better. There's always going to be hopes and dreams of keeping the classic stuff, but we'll see what happens, man. We're excited for it.
I think as long as they bring back the star, replacing the A, in Magic, Orlando,
Yeah,
that's number one. You can't mess that up if you do that. Pinstripes, number two. And then jerseys that are white, blue, and black, like with pinstripes. If you can just do that, you're not going to mess it up. The watermark, the font, what it's going to be, we'll see. But again, I have my hopes, man, that they are doing something special for us. It's been a long time coming, like I said before, 15 years in the making. Paulo and France in town, a big season coming up for us, big off season. Like there's a lot going on that there will be a play with this. But hopefully we'll see at least the logo reveal before the next month before the draft. So that's gonna be fun to see how that whole thing plays out, man. But I'm excited for it. Like I said, a long time coming. I know the fan base is ready for it. We like the current uniforms. They just feel too corporate, right? Like the font's really basic, the colors are really basic. So as long as they go back and pay, tribute to the early days, but do it in a fun way, in a unique, modern way, I think we'll be impressed what they come up with.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's wait and see. Stay optimistic. And I'm sure that, man, people are whatever it is, man, people will fall in love with it. So on that note, that's a wrap. I appreciate everyone for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
For all the latest Magic news and updates, visit OrlandoMagicHQ.com and follow us on Instagram at Orlando Magic HQ and on Twitter at OMagicHQ. Also, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform.